Calaroga Shark Media.
From Washington, D.C., where nobody is planning a military takeover, this is Ballot.
That's right. We get all the generals together in a room all the time. Nothing to see here. Let's hit this. President Trump announced he'll be attending what can only be described as the world's most expensive military book club meeting this Tuesday at Quantico. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has called together hundreds of generals and admirals on short notice, and nobody seems to know exactly why. Trump described it to NBC as really just a very nice meeting talking about how well we're doing militarily. Which sounds suspiciously like when your boss calls an emergency all-hands meeting to tell everyone how great the company is doing right before announcing layoffs. The president went on to explain that the gathering is all about esprit de corps, and he actually asked the reporter if they knew what that meant. Nothing quite builds military morale like having to explain French phrases to journalists during a phone interview. Now, the Washington Post reports that this sudden assembly of military brass from around the world comes at a time when the Trump administration has been taking an axe to senior military ranks. So you've got to wonder, is this a pep rally or a performance review? Are they discussing warrior spirit or wondering who's getting the warrior boot? Vice President Vance tried to downplay the whole thing, saying it's not unusual at all and calling the media coverage odd, which is exactly what someone would say if they were planning something completely usual and normal, right? Why are you guys making such a big deal about our totally routine, mysterious military gathering? Trump himself suggested the generals would be touring equipment sites and talking about the newest weapons. So either this is a legitimate strategic meeting or someone's about to get a very expensive show and tell presentation. The Secret Service is now handling security for the event, which adds another layer of complexity to what was supposed to be a simple military meet and greet. At this point, they might as well sell tickets and call it a defense expo. All we know for certain is that hundreds of top military officials are being summoned to one location with no explanation. The president is attending, and everyone involved insists there's absolutely nothing unusual about any of this. Which is exactly how normal things always happen in Washington. President Trump briefly shared what appears to be an AI-generated video of himself promoting something called Medbeds, which sounds like what you'd get if a conspiracy theorist opened a furniture store. The fake video, designed to look like a Fox News segment hosted by his daughter-in-law, Lara Trump, featured an artificial version of the president promising that every American will soon receive their own Medbed card, which is either the most ambitious healthcare plan in history or the most elaborate infomercial ever created. In the video, fake Trump touted these supposed miracle healing beds, saying they'd provide guaranteed access to our new hospitals, led by the top doctors in the nation, equipped with the most advanced technology in the world. So essentially, universal healthcare, but with alien technology and a really good mattress. Now, for those unfamiliar with Medbed conspiracy theories, they're basically the intersection of UFO believers and people who think the government is hiding miracle cures. The theory goes that we've reverse-engineered alien technology to create healing beds, but the government only gives them to elite insiders. Which explains why politicians always look so refreshed after those long congressional hearings. This particular conspiracy theory has been popular in QAnon circles, where supporters have long believed Trump would eventually release this secret alien healing technology to the public. And honestly, if you're going to promise universal healthcare, we got it from space aliens is certainly one way to explain the funding. The real-world version of these Medbeds appears to be overpriced heating pads sold at New Age conventions, often marketed as magnetic and infrared healing devices. So we've gone from alien technology that can cure anything to a blanket that gets warm and costs $300. Trump deleted the video after posting it, which raises the question, did he realize it was fake? Or did someone tell him the Medbed rollout wasn't scheduled until next quarter? President Trump has authorized the deployment of federal troops to Portland, Oregon, with permission to use full force if needed to protect ICE facilities from protesters. Which means Portland is about to have more federal agents than coffee shops. And that's saying something. Trump described the city as war-ravaged in a Truth Social post, targeting what he calls attacks by Antifa and other domestic terrorists. Now, calling Portland war-ravaged is like calling a yoga class combat training. Technically, there might be some stretching involved, but nobody's really in danger. Oregon Governor Tina Kotek pushed back, saying, "There is no national security threat in Portland. Our communities are safe and calm," which is probably the most defensive anyone's ever had to be about Portland being too peaceful. No, really, we're totally fine. Our biggest problem is deciding between 17 different kombucha flavors. The Pentagon confirmed they're ready to mobilize military personnel at the president's direction, though they haven't specified what full force actually mean. In Portland terms, that could range from actual military action to aggressively enforcing proper recycling protocols. Trump also signed an order formally designating Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization, though legal experts point out there's no actual legal mechanism to do this in the United States. So essentially, he's declared war on a group that may not technically exist in any official capacity. The Department of Homeland Security claims that Rose City Antifa, because of course Portland's Antifa chapter has the most precious name possible, has been doxing ICE officers and sending death threats. Though in Portland, a death threat might just be telling someone their beard isn't locally sourced, and Rose City Antifa just sounds like the name of a soccer club. Portions of today's show were made possible by an elected clown, an AI.
You can call me James. I spent 23 years designing aircraft that officially don't exist for agencies you think TV made up. Until I started asking the wrong questions. Navy ships are recording objects moving at impossible speeds. Infrastructure is failing in coordinated patterns. The moon looks smaller than it did 10 years ago. None of this is a coincidence. The official explanations don't add up. This is Paranormal Aliens, where we connect the dots they don't want connected. If you're hearing this, you know where to get podcasts. Follow Paranormal Aliens. New episodes weekly until they shut me down.
Want to hear your favorite shows without any ads? It's easy. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, just tap the banner that says Uninterrupted Listening and unlock commercial-free versions of this show and all your other Calaroga favorites for just $4.99 a month. Even better, you get a 30-day free trial to start. That includes Palace Intrigue, your daily dose of royal family drama, 5 good news stories where we spotlight feel-good headlines, 5 daily trivia questions to test your brain, daily comedy news, bringing you the latest in comedy, celebrity trials for the biggest courtroom showdowns, and Taylor Swift Today for all things Taylor. Plus, coming September 14th, binge Season 2 of the hit series Crown and Controversy. This season, we explore how everything changed the moment Meghan met Harry, and the ripple effects that shook the royal family to its core. The power struggles, the family fractures, and the love story that rewrote the royal rulebook. All episodes drop that Sunday exclusively for subscribers. Go ad-free, binge more, and never miss a beat. Tap Uninterrupted Listening now.